How do we start the downswing and have a seamless transition? That's a question I get asked a lot in lessons. Well, today I'm going to share with you the one key move you need to start your downswing and make sure your transition is as efficient as possible and you have really good tempo and timing up there. All right, so in today's video, as I said at the beginning, we're gonna be working on how to start a downswing and how to have a seamless transition. So this is something I get asked all the time. People come in for lessons, they set up, they start hitting some balls, and they're just like, I feel too quick from the top. My transition's off. I'm hitting it left, I'm hitting it right, I'm hitting it everywhere. So today I'm gonna share with you one key move that's gonna help start your downswing and your transition and kind of put everything together. It's going to help you improve your tempo and timing. All right, so one thing we want to get out of the way right away with the downswing and our transition is I don't want you to feel like from the top of your swing, you're trying to feel like you really pull the handle down, right? This is something people tell me all the time. They're like, I get up to the top and I'm just trying to feel like I really rip and pull the handle down as hard as I can. That's very bad advice. So we don't want to do that from a force production standpoint, from a tempo and timing production standpoint. We don't want to do that. So the move we actually want to work on is a slight pressure shift into our lead foot, right? So within the golf swing, I've talked in some of my previous videos, all PGA Tour players, their pressure is going to shift into one foot, then shift into the other foot, and so on and so forth, almost as if we're walking. Pressure is not going to stay on one side. If it does, we're going to lose a lot of efficiency, a lot of power, and a lot of things like that. So at some point throughout the swing, their pressure is going to be changing throughout the swing. So how do we do that, right? So the majority of people, as they're swinging the golf club, they do a few things that we don't like right off the bat. So the first thing is they've been told by somebody, because they may have chunked it before, that they just need to keep all their pressure on their lead foot. We don't want to do that. So what we see those guys do is they try to just feel like all their pressure's over here, and then as they come down, they end up falling back to the right foot because it's the only way they can really hit the ball. So what we actually want to do is push into our right, then push into our left, and go from there. So I've shown some swings in some previous videos of these step drills and how I push the club forward and swing it back that way. So within the golf swing, I actually want you to, as we start this swing, we're going to push from our left foot into our right foot. So now pressure's on this foot. I have not slid. All I've done is applied more pressure in this foot. And then as I get up to the top, I'm then going to apply more pressure to my left, which is going to start my transition and downswing, and then I'm going to swing through. So this pressure shift is actually the thing that's going to help us with our transition and starting our downswing. So what we see a lot of times is people just don't have any of this pressure shifting going on, or they're doing it the completely wrong way. Alrighty, so I've talked a lot about pressure shifting. I'm going to use this pressure board by Y Golf to help illustrate and show you guys how the pressure is actually moving throughout the swing. So even though it's very difficult to see, if you watch really any tour pros pressure reading numbers, they actually push forward to start the swing. So they're actually doing a slight push from their left into their right. This is how they're generating a lot of force. If you watch guys like Bryson DeChambeau, some of the long drive guys, it's very evident there. They really push left and then they swing back way to the right. Almost everyone does this. So to illustrate that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to push the club forward. So here I've applied more pressure to my lead foot. As I swing back, I'm going to push into my right. However, I'm not going to slide outside of my foot here. I'm almost going to push into my right, get everything to line up, my foot, my knee, and my shoulder, and then I'm going to swing up to the top. So I don't want to see this. I don't want to see a real slide back this way. The pressure goes onto the outside edge of my right foot. So again, I'm going to push forward, push back. As I'm going up, I want you to feel like as you move up, you're going to push into your left foot or you're going to fall left. So I'm going to go up, I'm going to fall left, hit the ball and swing through, and then I'm going to finish with the majority of my pressure on my left. So again, we're going to take it up, push left, push right, push left again, and then swing through. And this push into the left as we go up to the top of the swing is actually what's going to divert and make our downswing start. So as I go up to the top here, I push left, I push right. As I'm going up, my hands are actually going to continue to move up as I push left. And as I push left, my hands might even still be going up. But then once I complete my pressure shift, my hands will start down, right? So in order to start the downswing, we actually need to feel as if we're pushing into our left, or sometimes I say feel like you're falling left. So This idea is going to run through every part of the swing. Now, I'm going to upload a video soon talking about the difference between drivers and iron and how this push is maybe a little bit different and how our turns and tilts are a little bit different. But for the vast majority of this, we need you pushing from your left to your right, and then as the club is moving up, we need you to push back to the left. Again, a lot of times we see people come in and somebody has told them, one of their buddies, hey, keep the pressure on your lead side. So they set up like this, they take it back, they're way on the left, they've slid forward, and then on the way down, the only way they can hit it without topping it is to fall back on the right, and then they might still even chunk it, right? So from a force production standpoint, you're going to launch it way high, you're probably going to spin it a lot, it's not going to go very far. So you're going to sacrifice tons and tons of distance. And if you're someone that just stays on the left and manages to stay there, you're probably going to hit it really low and really short as well. So in order to maximize distance, right, we need to properly learn how to pressure shift within the swing. And not only pressure shift, but to start our downswing and get our rhythm and timing correct. All right, so how can you do this drill? How can you feel like you're falling into your left to help start your downswing and perfect your transition? I know a lot of you don't have this Y Golf pressure plate. If you have any type of pressure plate, definitely use that. But if you don't, I have a little foam ball here, and I also have, this is actually out of the George Genkus, I think the shallower, but I use this a lot for like a wedge to push off of and push into. If you don't have either of these, just grab a head cover in place of these two things. All right, so we're gonna start with the foam ball. So I want you to place this, I want you to go ahead and get set up, then I want you to place this under your lead foot, preferably up by the balls of your feet. And what I want you to feel, you're gonna feel the slight raise up, but you can push into this. So what you're going to try to feel is hover the club, push forward. You're going to feel like you kind of squish it, and then push into your right. And as you start swinging the club up, you're going to feel pressure get relieved from that left foot. And then I want you to imagine it's like a bug or a pop can, and you're going to crush it and then swing through, right? So in order for me to do that, I'm going to get set up. I'm going to push forward, add up a little pressure, swing back, add pressure to my right. As my hands are going up, put pressure to my left, which is going to start my downswing and transition and then swing through. So now if you don't have a foam ball, imagine this was one of your head covers. I want you to kind of do the same thing. Place it under the front part of your foot, preferably the balls of your feet. This is going to raise your foot up a little bit more, but maybe it'll help you push into the left a little bit better. So I'm going to start out. I'm going to push left harder. I'm going to swing back, pushing to my right. As I swing up, I'm going to push back in the left, and I'm going to swing through. So again, apply pressure here, push back into my right, and then left again. All right, guys, so we've established how we want to start the downswing and how we want to get the transition in a better rhythm and timing, right? So I'm going to give you a few more thoughts here and then explain some things we don't want to happen within the swing. So another thought I have with this, I explained like feeling like you're going to crush the bug or a pop can, right? The other idea is feel like as you take the club up to the top, my pressure's on my right, I'm going to feel like I just fall left, right? But when I do this, I want everything to line up. My foot, my hip, and my shoulder. I don't want to feel like I do this motion. I want to feel like everything falls this way, like I fall left. Everything's moving that way. I don't want to feel like I just throw my hips at it or I throw my upper body at it. I need to feel like everything kind of stacks on one another and falls to the left, right? Or if you like the feeling of feeling like you're crushing the bug, that may be better for you. So something that we don't want to see happen is get too much into this pelvis sway, getting the pelvis swaying too much. So within the golf swing, on the vast majority of golfers, there's a great video of Tiger Woods out right now of seeing how much head movement he has and how much pelvis movement he has as well. What we don't want to see in the golf swing is the pelvis swaying too much and too far outside of the upper body and even our feet. We need to almost feel like we push into like a wall and then push into a wall this way. We don't want to feel like our hips are just sliding back and forth and the pressure is going on the outside part of our foot, right? So what that would look like, what we don't want to see is the idea of someone trying to do this drill and they slide this way, so my hip goes out, my body's back this way, then they slide this way, pressure's on the outside of my foot, my hip's way out, I'm kind of side bent this way, very awkward, puts a lot of pressure on my back. So what we need to really work on is feel like you push left, you push right, and you kind of get everything lined up here. So shoulder, hip, knee, foot. I don't want to see this, right? Foot there, hip way out here, shoulder back here, head back there, right? We almost need to feel like everything gets in one line. So you can hold on to a club like this and feel like as you push back, right, everything kind of gets in line. I don't want to see this, right? But the big idea here is I get in the comments all the time when I talk about this stuff, people say the pelvis shouldn't sway that much. The pelvis sways a lot in the golf swing. Watch many tour pros, right? Their pelvis sways. I can give you tons of examples of that. Their pelvis is going to sway, their head is going to move as well. So, but what we don't want to do is see this like a ton of swaying this way or a ton of swaying this way. I almost want you to feel like as you pressure shift into your right foot, like I hit a wall there, right? I push into a wall and then I swing up that wall, right? I don't want you to feel like you push into a wall and then break through the wall with your hip. That'd be getting in too much sliding, and the foot would be getting too much pressure on the outside. So again, when you do this drill, maybe do it with a camera on or a mirror, but I really want you to feel like you push forward, push back to the right, hit that wall and swing up that wall. Don't hit the wall and break through the wall. So again, don't get too much pelvis sway. That'd be really bad. We want to have some pressure shift and our hips moving a little bit. We don't want them swaying a ton and especially getting disconnected from our upper body and our lower body. All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed today's video and have a better understanding of how to start your downswing and improve your transition. This all starts with our one key point, which is pushing into that left foot better. But not only pushing into your lead foot better, what you also need to do is understand how to push into your right foot and then push into your left foot to start the downswing. We don't just want you keep applying all pressure onto one side of your foot, keeping all the weight over there. We need the pelvis to move a little bit. The head will also move a little bit. Definitely try this at home. Try this with a mirror, set up a camera, and make sure you don't get that pelvis swaying too much outside of there. Be sure to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more videos to come. Make sure you hit that bell and turn on the notifications. Also, if you're looking for personalized instruction, I offer online lessons. Be sure to check out the comments below where you can find me.